How are you?
Here, I am here.
Here.
Oh my goodness gracious. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So,
Yeah,
it's
I
your
had
s-
a,
yeah.
I had an 11 o'clock out at my move to 1. So I don't feel quite as rushed to get
Oh,
done, but rushed to get other things done. Don't want to waste the time.
no. Doesn't I used to always, when I was younger, I was like, let's go kill some time. And I'm like, what a god awful thing to say.
You
Yeah.
got that right. That
Oh,
is god awful.
exactly. It's horrible.
Just
So
like Kenneth Hagin says, I'm not getting the Asian flu and I'll never get it.
uh-huh.
And because and then it's shutting stuff down, and it's man, you hung by your words.
Yeah,
No
I hear
doubt
you.
about that.
Oh my gosh. So I went out last night. I took and I owe you a phone call. We took off at 2 o'clock, I think, and went and watched the new indie movie and then went out for sushi afterwards. It took a while to get to the theater and all that, but we pretty much had the theater to our entire selves. Tiny little theater too, with the really big comfy seats, which I was not expecting because the theater was only 5 rows by 9. And then just a couple of the wheelchair handicap accessible things. One's the best. I think it set like 50 people and that was it. And it was, tiny, and it still had the big plush chairs and everything. And I'm like, that lean way back. So I slept during Indy. I'm like, dang it. I
What?
couldn't stay awake for an action movie. I'm telling you, I can do drama, I can do intense, I can do fantasy, I can do weird, I can do all that kind of stuff. If you put me in an action movie, I'm like, oh, thunk. It's bad. It's
That's
really,
hilarious.
my husband's like, he's like, but sweetie, I'm like, it's action. That's not a good sign. It's just not a good sign. I mean, I want to go do it and all that, but it's just not a good sign. And he's like, well, it's the talking part's the quiet part. And I'm like, it's not the talky part. I like the talky part. It's the boom, 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 boom part and all that. And I'm just like, I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. So anyway,
It's
I had a
fake.
really good nap yesterday that cost me about $12. And then I went to bed at a decent hour and slept till way late and I feel good. So it's all good. Let's hear some good. Oh, I know my good news. I had a bunch of good phone conversations, just a bunch of really good phone conversations yesterday. So a couple people that were some of the Teams people, I started in with the ones that Dan gave me. I need to follow up with the ones that y'all gave me. And then I had some recruiting calls also that went super good. One person's gonna talk with Brianna because she wants a mentor, but she's not sure that we really have coaching and mentoring and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, I'll talk to Bree because she's been with me the longest. And then the other one I'm doing a Zoom with today. I think she'll join. I really do. She seems very promising. So anyway, that's my good news. Let's hear your guys's.
I had a good showing on the land.
Nice. Congratulations and very nice. Clients
Never did find the electric cattle fence that I was supposed to go through, but I went through another way. Me and the Subaru crossed the creek and went through the fields.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I got to tell you guys a funny story. The first time I ever did a land showing, I don't know what stupidity world I lived in, but I was full on dressed like, like heels and the suit and all that. And I'm like, how dumb are you? I don't know what I thought, but that Washington State mud was not what I thought. So,
All right, then I gotta share a laugh then because of that.
Mhm.
I came from doing an MRI to meet them. I had a dress on and what I was when you saw me on the phone for a second, got there and I knew I didn't have a lot of time between. So I'd thrown these pair of pants and boots in the car. So I have a dress on with these pants pulled up underneath it and boots. And I'm talking like the water wading boots because
because
I
it's
thought we
muddy.
were gonna have to cross the creek. I didn't know if we were gonna be able to drive through or not.
Right.
Well, I was just beautiful.
I bet you were. You just need a rocking chair and a shotgun, honey.
I know. That's all I missed.
Yep. Good Lord. All
And a
right.
bottle of moonshine.
Oh, that's awesome.
That would have worked too,
Ah.
for the get up. Of course, I would have needed different style dress, but other than that, had it going on.
Yep, that's funny. All right, love it. Let's hear some more good news. What you guys got?
Well, I've been playing around with Release Flow.
Yes.
And yesterday I actually got I'm getting the hang of it, I should say. So I pulled up pre-foreclosure leads
Mhm.
in my area,
Mhm.
just in my town actually. And I actually know a couple of landlords who are on there
Good.
that's got foreclosure properties. One of them is my insurance agent. Because
Wow.
he has about 40 properties, and he lives in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay,
So
that's awesome.
yeah. So I set up I saved the search,
Mm-hmm.
and then this morning 2 more dropped into my email.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to reach out to these people, send them letters, call them, whatever I need to do.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Your
So that
insurance.
was very promising.
Yeah, if you have 40 properties, your insurance guy, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of different ways you could go into that, even just to, hey, we do classes and that's what I do. And I want to talk with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
That's cool beans. It's amazing what you find when you dig around, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Anna Liz. We got 2 more of you we haven't heard from yet. What do you got?
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, everyone. My good news is that I got a call from a radio host in California who found me through our GIA group. And he had called in referring someone who had apparently reached out to him during his radio show or sometime afterwards. And so she is an executor for an estate, and that estate owns 3 properties here in San Antonio that they're looking to sell because their taxes, they have not been protesting. Their taxes are insanely high. They haven't been taking care of these properties. So I just got 3 listings. So that was cool.
Yay!
Yeah, that was awesome. But one of them is like a full-on demo. It was like in such a bad shape. She's like, I wouldn't enter it if I were you. You could tell it was like mold all around it. And I told her I'm severely allergic to mold, so please don't expect me to go in.
Right.
And the other 2, one was a moderate rehab, like it needed quite a few changes. And then the other one was like a light rehab. They have a lot of work to do on them. There are some heirship of affidavit issues also involved. So I'm getting title involved. I'm getting Curbio, Re-Up, those companies that basically want to get paid at closing. At the same time, contractors to try to give them bids in case they want to take on the project of, repairing before they sell. And the state also wants to appraise the properties as is. So they can see, okay, is it better for us to sell in this current condition, or do we want to possibly rehab them and then sell it for higher value? So there
Yeah.
is a lot of work to be done, but it's okay.
That's good. That's great. That's awesome, actually. Have you thought about, I'm sure you've already thought about like getting cash offers too, so Delia, and presenting the whole package with all of it.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I knew
I
you.
just
Tricky.
we're waiting for their. I offered to do a CMA, of course, and they're like, we'd like to proceed forward with an appraisal instead, an official appraisal. I'm totally comfortable with that because especially the back house, since I haven't entered, I don't know what that's
Yeah.
gonna look like. So I'm like, okay, yeah, bring in an appraisal, no problem. So we're just trying to basically put an evaluation at this point, figure out The back property is a pretty interesting one, the one that's been like totally in a horrible condition, because it has no driveway to access any of the parking spots. So the back house, so two of them are actually adjoining on two different lots that are accessible, all from the same driveway. Okay, one single driveway
Yep.
that leads to the back house. The back house has built-in carports. So it has places for people to park. It just does not have a driveway of its own.
Mhm.
The front house has the driveway, but no parking. So if they were to sell it to two different owners, they would have to either get an easement for the people in the back to access the property to go to the carports. But then the issue becomes the person in the front has no other parking spots. And if they park in the driveway, the people in the back are always consistently having to go to the front to have them move. So it's like a little bit of a logistic thing, but
Mhm.
we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Interesting. You know, in Washington State, they do a lot of houses that they tuck in behind other houses, and they definitely share the driveway with like 3 houses. They'll have the one
Really?
that goes to, yeah, they'll have the one that goes to, these are brand new subdivisions, and then it bends back and Ys out to the 2 houses that are tucked in back behind. And so with the lot super deep, they'll divide it out that way as well. Yeah.
Wow,
It,
interesting.
yeah, I call them cluster neighborhoods, and I'm not a fan of them. And the reason why is because, you know, it's house fence, house fence, house fence, and it's just all, you know, you have a yard, and the yards aren't that bad, size wise, but your neighbors, like you can look at in your yard, you can see like 8 neighbors, that kind of thing.
Wow.
What, you know,
Okay.
what
Yeah,
we're
that
used to.
property that I have just
Yeah.
went to also has a long right of way
Right.
it comes with.
Gotcha.
So it's not uncommon.
Interesting.
It's just, yeah, it's just, I think you see it more in just different places where there's not a lot of land left. You start seeing them stack things up and like that. So,
Yeah, because they get landlocked.
because you get landlocked, because you get property lock. In Washington State, when you look at it from above, so we took a little seaplane ride one time, and I was shocked because when you're down on the ground, you think it's land with water. No, it's water with little tiny pieces of land that kind of wind through it. That's what it really looks like when you're up above looking down. You're like, oh, good Lord, there's water, and a little strip of lands, you know. So anyway, all right.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. All right, Liz, you're our last 2. What's your good news?
I've got lots of follow-up.
I bet you do. That's what I was doing all day yesterday too, was lots of follow-up, making phone calls. I never
Yes.
get as many made as I want to because the conversations go, they just go. And I want that. I want the relationship. Which I used to fuss over more, but I'm like, oh, I can get my 15 calls done today. No, you can't. No, you'll have a few really good calls.
I'm
So
glad to hear that because I run into that all the time.
in the beginning, I just let them talk and bond. When I was in real estate and I needed to get stuff done, and I just need to give you an update on your property, and I really can't, you know, dig into grandma came over and I got cookies or whatever. And that's when I had a bell, and I would call it 5 minutes or 10 minutes till. So things I could do to kind of shorten the conversations. But in the beginning, I'm like, no, it can go for a while. It's fine. So, yep. Good for you, Brianna. Have you started any of them yet?
No, because I had to categorize them. But no, that's today. And yesterday I felt like crap. So.
All right. So today you're on.
Mhm.
Good. So you missed the beginning. I went to the indie movie and slept. So I slept. I went to bed at a decent hour last night. So I slept. So I am like, today I feel really, really, really good. And then I took a piece of advice in my head from what I was talking with Craig with yesterday, which was, who do you want to be? Then go do that thing. Because I'm railing against I started to rail against having to do my taxes again, having to buckle down this weekend and actually spreadsheet everything out. And I was like, who do you want to be? You want to be the person that does that. Well, that person will get their damn taxes done. So stop railing. Anyway, Liz, can you talk today?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
I don't really have too much to report. I guess I'll say this. In doing my search for lenders, the list has gone long and deep, and I'm pleased about that. And I've come across some good resources. So happy about that. And that's it. I mean, wrapping up my only stuff, but other than that, no complaints. Life is good.
Cool beans. And your lenders, if you're a coffee hound, they should take you out for coffee. Just saying.
I know, but I'm having my own issues with mobility right now, so I can't take them up on that, but they're very kind and gracious in other ways. So it's all
I was talking with a brand new agent and she's like, how do I find them? And I'm like, oh, they'll take you out for coffee. Trust me on this one. Go enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Go get
Send me
some
those
interviews set up.
pop-up things, so yeah, it's all good.
Yep, it is. All right, challenges. What are we up against? Let's hear some real estatey challenges. And Craig, don't you go dark on me. I'll kick your butt.
He's drinking the moonshine, getting ready for it.
He is drinking the coffee, getting ready for it.
Yeah.
Yep. I think my good
Makes
news
me
also
think.
is that Craig looks really good in a pink shirt. I think that's the second or third time I've seen him wear that shirt. And I really think that is your color. You should get, I can't tell if that's a t-shirt or what, but, or polo or
One of my workout shirts.
the workout shirt. You should get
Yeah.
some button downs in pink. You really should.
Get some what?
Button downs, dress shirts.
Oh, I do. I have a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you could be that agent that always wore a pink something because you look really good in that color.
Well, thanks. I always I like loud colors, so I do pink, orange, yellow. Those are my colors.
When you go out and meet people for the first time, do you wear one of those colors?
A lot of times I do.
Yeah.
And
If I were,
if not, if I don't have that color on as a shirt, usually the shoes are.
see, shoes, socks, tie, shirt, whatever, you could totally like make that a thing and in a business card picture and everything, and you could really brand yourself as that guy.
Gotcha. Never thought of that. But yeah, usually when I go out, even if I have on slacks and a shirt, I have on like a loud pair of sneakers. Because I usually wear sneakers.
Would never do that. Ever. His wild shirt has a gray pattern on black. That's his wild shirt. And I'm like, really? And it's like subtle. It's like palm trees and there's subtle gray on black. And that's his wild shirt. I'm like, honey.
Yeah, I probably would be more that way too, but I do it every once in a while.
But I'm telling you, Craig, you really, it's memorable. And it's an unusual guy that can wear, like hot pink and look really good. So, and you got the physique and everything else. You could totally pull that off and make that a thing.
But
if you ever wanted.
P all over it or Craig all over it, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about branding t-shirts.
Yeah,
you're right.
There you go. Yeah.
So when you're out there working out, you got all that on the back of your shirt.
I know a company that'll put your face on your shirt.
I'll put Craig's face on my shirt. How's that?
Yeah, we'll all put Craig's face on our shirts.
There you go. I have one of those affordable housing, Lou Brown, whatever. I probably got 3 of them. Loud shirts, t-shirts, tacky loud t-shirts, and every single time I wear it, people stop me. It doesn't matter where. I usually only wear it to like work out in the yard or something like that because I don't like them. I'm not loud, ugly. I say that as I have this t-shirt on, which is your self-worth is not based upon the opinions of others or something like that. So, but those shirts I don't like, but I get not compliments. I get comments and people asking me questions every single time I wear them. Every single time. And then my friend Joe, who does marketing, he found a t-shirt that he really liked. And as soon as he found the t-shirt he liked, he ordered it in every single color and style and then branded it with his logo and brand. I mean, he's like, I love these t-shirts. And he never has to think when he gets up. He's like, he puts on that t-shirt and he's zooming all the time. So it's always got the whatever the logo-y thing is,
Right.
So anyway, but challenges, what do we got? Don't let me side rail you guys. I'm ADHD. I will go there. All right. So how's the lead generation going for everybody?
I'll give you a challenge.
What you got? You're saving all their butts.
I'm totally.
Lead gen.
Huh?
I said, you're saving all their butts because I'm gonna start going after lead gen.
Okay.
My brother just left, so I can work on
Oh.
some of those challenges.
Go ahead, Dutch. What you got, honey?
I got a phone call.
Oh, okay. We'll let
Yes.
Dutch have a phone call then. I'm gonna mute you while that's going on. All right, so database. I was just talking with an agent coaching someone on Dustin's team, newer, and the last part of her database, I might have said this yesterday, but the last part of her database is that she just has to put in the dates to contact everybody else. And she's 18 or 19. She only has 70 people in there. So I'm like, just crank out the damn dates. Like, just crank them out. She's been talking to them. So just crank out those dates. And she's like, yeah, why? And I'm like, because the conversation will get so much more interesting as soon as you get that done. The second you get that done, we get a cool conversation. And she was like, oh, okay. And so she's doing it because that's the reality. The second that's done, this conversation in real estate shifts dramatically. And you will not have me harping on you and Craig going dark all the time and us missing something sure. So what has to happen and where are we all on databasing and getting everybody with contact dates?
I'm still where I was before. I haven't done anything since I got the
You've
phone
been
downloaded.
gone and you said it was going to take you 6 months. So you just keep on chipping away at it. A few a day if it's all if that's
Yeah.
all. Okay, you keep chipping away. All right, the rest all y'all.
I'm working on follow-up dates, but the good news is I've had conversations with people and just previewing homes or going to some open houses in the area and have been able to collect more contacts from my database.
So perfect. So when you are doing
not to
that,
get it into KV core, like I'm not in I want to be in the KV core space. I'm not there yet. But my goal is after I get some of this, personal stuff with my own move done to get back to get it all into KV core. My goal by the end of the summer is to get it all back into KV core and operational in that space so that I can automate that part of the process and really, keep and continue to focus on looking for properties. I mean, you're talking about having an issue, it's finding properties right now in my area.
your area is one of those tight, compact, built old, it's been built for forever areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot of infill, looking for old decrepit stuff that you can knock down. What are your rules and laws on ADU units? Well, that doesn't really help you. It just helps them. Hang on. I'm still thinking.
I mean, I think what's tough here is that, from an investor perspective, there's nothing on sale, there's nothing on sale. I'll give you an example. Great Falls is one of the higher, the affluent areas in the county here. And there's probably has a higher volume of inventory on the market right now, but the price points being what they are, nothing's moving. So I say that to say, like, my son's girlfriend's family has had their house in the market probably since early this point, and they're just getting to doing a price reduction because they want to be moving on before September. Now, what's interesting is, and I'm going to talk to you about this, Gina, because I'm thinking there's a play here and I don't know what it is.
That's instantly, did you see me? I was like, oh.
Yeah, from an investor standpoint, I'm feeling there's a play here and I'm just not sure what it is, because it is in the higher luxury market area, but they literally did the price reduction to what the county assessed the property for. And it's a great, multi-family unit type property, including swimming pool, tennis courts on the property.
How much?
It just came down to, so it was at 2 million when it started, and it just came down to 1,875.
How many?
I have a buyer.
How many
Are you
units?
serious, Bree?
Yeah, no, she's looking in your area or Tennessee.
Oh my gosh, let's talk.
We've been looking South Carolina, North Carolina, the DC area, and Tennessee. This
is the only area out in Northern Virginia that it will not be developed. It's got horse properties, and I mean it's it's that kind of footprint in the
Wow.
Northern Virginia area. And it is a great, I mean, it's the property itself is open and slow, but it has pockets of it because it's so big. Literally, families could coexist inside the residence and not and still interact with each other, but have their own kind of space, kitchens and everything.
Okay.
I'm not. It's
She's
like
pre-approved.
it's
This
like-
is in her budget.
let's talk.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
where that is.
Because-
You've got your McLean, Reston, Herndon.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've been to all those offices up there. I don't think I've been to the Great Falls office. It's right on, but that whole area is right on the Potomac River.
Exactly. They've got the I
Beautiful
mean,
area.
it literally borders Riverbend Park and Great Falls National Park.
Leesburg, I've been to
and-
every
And
office.
it's very
around there.
close to Tyson's. It's very accessible to DC, the Tyson's area, my area. It's very accessible. The price points, high. But like I said, they probably have the highest inventory of any of them, of any of the areas up here. And they're still not, they're not moving as quickly.
Liz, run a trends report on that area. Just run a
Okay.
trends report, which is the one where you do 0 to 30 days. I'm encouraging people to go back to trends reports to start to look and see, so know what's going on in areas 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60, and 60 to 90. And do one for the whole area, and then one kind of the specific to multifamily, X amount of units, et cetera, and just kind of look and see what is going on trends wise, because that's really going to help you, and really watch those days on market, price per square foot, and look for price reductions also. Look at those three figures and graph that out and see what that pattern is. And for everybody else that's got, their areas or people that are looking or something like that, start running your trends reports again. It's heading into the tail end of summertime.
Exactly.
I've ever lived, we have this dip in July that's very interesting, and then a little flurry right before school starts for people who couldn't get in to get their kids moved. And then, we start heading into the winter months after that, the fall winter months, and start leveling out a bit. But yeah, that is a great area up in there.
Yeah. And it's honestly, it's a great property in comparison to everything else in the market. People might think it needs some work, but from an investor standpoint, I think it's everything's operational. Bones are good, systems are good in the property. But just compared to some of the cosmetic upgrades and other stuff on the market, appliances and everything are new in this place. It doesn't look dated like original, but in comparison to what's out there on the market, it's, people walk in and says, oh, it needs new cabinetry, but that's a buyer thing. At this price point, I think it's a great opportunity to get into that. I'd be doing it if I thought I'd be staying.
Yeah.
I'd be doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Bree, let's talk.
That is why I
Definitely.
fucking love this group. Love. By the way, Brianna, I talked with Darlene briefly yesterday. She said she hasn't reached out to you yet, and I told her that you were underneath the weather for a few days, which is why I didn't give you the information, which is true. Thursday or Friday, whatever day I talked to her originally. So balls in her court at this point.
Okay.
And then were you able to track down John yet?
I'm not. I was going to do that. Today's my administrative day.
All right, perfect. And then if you don't tell me if you reach out and you don't hear from him in 24, 48 or whatever, let me know, because I'll reach out to him too. I'll track if you have a phone number and you don't hear from him for the restaurant, just let me know and I'll call the restaurant too.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. That's some guy I met in a restaurant that wants to become an agent and wants to move to Nashville. He was in Knoxville, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, wherever. I don't know, the whole little area right in there somewhere. Other side. Anyway, any other challenges? Oh, database. So that's where Liz is on her database. I know where Kathy is. Bree's tracking down hers today. Anna, I know where hers is. Dutch and Craig. Where's your databases? How are we doing? Don't you go dark on me. I saw your hand moving down there. Don't you even? Stop it. That's going pink on me. Don't go pink on me either.
I'm still in the beginning phases. I
Tell me
gotta
what that
wrap it
means,
up
Craig.
to get my butt in gear.
So that's pre-beginning phase.
Well, I started on it one day,
Mhm.
and then I kind of just forgot about it. So I can't keep doing that.
Okay, so is it, who do you want to be?
What's that?
Who do you want to be?
Who do I want to be?
Mhm.
I want to be like Gary.
Do you know how many people are in Gary's database?
Probably tons.
Yeah, I know of 9,000 that
Yeah.
are people that of one database that's 9,000. And I don't know how big the other database is, but I know of the one that's 9,000 because that's the one that broke my my old Brivity system when I was on Brivity, because I tried to text 9,000 people at once and broke my whole system, and they locked me out for 3 weeks or something like that, until I threatened not to pay the damn bill, and then they put me back in. And he contacts them on a regular basis. So if Gary's your person, then what would Gary do? What would Craig Gary? Gary Craig? Gary Craig? Craig Gary? Craig Gary, what would Craig Gary do?
What would Gary do?
Yeah, what would Craig Gary do?
Go ahead and get it done. Get it started and get it done. Working on a little each day.
Yeah, do you think he might put it in his calendar maybe?
More than likely.
Okay.
I don't have one of those.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you do. I remember. He's pulling your leg.
He
would
that's
hire an
because he knows that I'll pin
assistant.
him on stuff publicly because he's such a good sport about letting me do it too, and he wants to grow so much. So I massively appreciate it. Okay, so what's the action plan, Craig Gary?
I need to schedule it on I need to put it in my calendar and do it.
For somebody.
Or I will, or I am, or I
am.
Love it.
I am.
Love
What'd
it.
you say, Kathy?
I said
didn't hear you,
hire
Kathy.
assistant, a virtual assistant. Gary would hire somebody. He'd put it in his
You're right.
calendar and hire somebody.
Is it something that you could hire out for dirt cheap to a VA?
Probably.
Because is it like your phone, your email, and just dumping it all into KV Core?
Yeah.
Who's that connection?
What kind of phone do you have?
Android.
Me too.
You can pull the CSV out of your Android just like that.
Oh, really?
And do you know
I
you
know
can
that.
pull your contact list out of your email just like that? And do you have social media? You do. You have social media.
Mm-hmm.
Pull your social media, Facebook, just like that too. You can pull those 3 things. I mean, it's like this on how you do it. It's really fast. You Google it, follow those instructions, you'll have a CSV. Even with Googling and looking at the instructions on the outside 20 minutes, probably within 10, you'd have your whole file done. All 3 of them, it would take you less than an hour.
Okay. I need to see how to do that.
Okay, so
That'll be simple.
okay,
Sounds like
I'm going to keep on pinning you down. I love you. This is why I'm doing it. You have way too flipping knock your crap off. You have way too flipping much potential for you to be like,
I know.
And
I know.
And you said something the other day. You said, I have a hard time recruiting because I don't have the production.
Yeah.
And you reminded me again of the trap that we get into. I can't do this because I don't have that, because I don't do this because I don't have that, and I can't do this. And it all starts in the same place to build that. You are worthy and you do have value, and the world knows it. We all know it. You don't know it. And I would venture to say you don't know it because of the little things like this.
Yeah.
Like, I made my phone calls yesterday and I felt so good. And I haven't made them I didn't make them when I was on vacation. And then when I came back, it was like day after day of just back to back to back to back Zooms. And it was like, this is making me kind of crazy. And if I only have 15 minutes, I know the call's going to go an hour. I know it is. So I tend not to. I tend to do something else instead. But I actually blocked out my time yesterday, purposely blocked out my calendar so nobody could book on it. And then when I did it, when all that was going on, not the vacation part, that was soul fulfilling and fabulous and wonderful. And I got to see you guys and everybody else, and it just energized the crap out of me. But the back to back Zooms where I'm not doing the thing that I need to do to push my business forward starts to erode underneath on my self-worth, which is not based upon the opinions of others. So damn, that's a good reason I wore this shirt today. But then when I sat down yesterday and made a bunch of phone calls, I get so excited because they're great conversations and they're interesting. And I mean, not every single one. I got the one girl that's scared that we can't mentor her. And so there's like, there's some, skill and work there. But the other ones that are these great high level business conversations are just, they're awesome, and then I feel really, really good again. And I'm like on a high, and I sleep during any movie and sleep really good at night. But, and I want that for you.
Yeah, I know. I gotta want it for myself. And sometimes I get caught up looking for the low-hanging fruit because I want, something now. And I get caught up in that low-hanging fruit. And it's not what I aspire to do in the business.
Nope. And do you want your son just looking for low-hanging fruit out of curiosity?
No.
Yeah. I wouldn't want my kids either. I would want my kids to do low-hanging fruit, but go after the high, really sweet stuff at the top of the tree.
You're going to be able to do more with those grandbabies if you do more with what you want to do.
You're right. I'll even be able to just get there.
Yeah. You can like jump in
Well,
your private jet, fly them down.
I just had a
That's right.
conversation with my 18-year-old who kept going for these jobs that pay 18 or 20 an hour, but are gruesome and would be in a horrible work environment, versus one that pays 16 and 15, which is still good for an 18-year-old, because the ones that pay higher are going to sap his energy. And when it came to school, he wouldn't have any. And so I explained to him, I was like, do you want to make that for the rest of your life? Or do you want to go for the lower paying job where you can continue at school and get something out of it long term?
But that's really good. When I was his age, my work philosophy was tiny businesses where they needed some to do everything, because I knew I could learn everything that way. And that's how I learned to be able to go in. That's how I learned accounting. That's how I learned all kinds of stuff that way, enough to get to the other job and the other job and the other job to be able to learn, more and more and more and more. So, yep. Yeah. Cause I'm trying to think of what that is behind that, because it's very, very interesting. It's long-term is what it is versus a short-term goal. That's what it really is. You're teaching him long-term, which for an 18-year-old boy with no frontal lobe yet, because that does not happen until 25, or maybe never.
I still don't have mine.
I know. If you're ADD or ADHD, which I know is highly bandied about nowadays, but the reality is, if you are, this doesn't operate at the same speed that it's supposed to. It moves really, really slow, which is why we caffeinate up like crazy, because then it moves at the speed it's supposed to move at to sync with the rest of the brain. But it's really the long-term trudging. That is a hard thing for people wired that way, to be really, really quick and move really, really fast and grab the easy stuff. The long-term is a hard thing, but my promise to you is, and so on this side, it looks like just the long-term sludging through getting this stuff done. But I promise you two things. One, Craig, just like we went through, it's much quicker than you think. It truly, truly is. Just to get it into the database with contact dates and just set them. Just like do blocks of 10 with one date, blocks of 10 with the next date, blocks of 10 with the next date, blocks of 10 with the next date, and just block it all out and get it done. And then from what you could do, you could probably set the whole entire thing up I don't know how long it will take KV Core to upload all your crap, but an hour to get it up to, and then as soon as you got it back from KV Core, maybe another hour to set those blocks of tasks. I'm not sure on that. I don't know how fast you can task things in KV Core, but once that's done, then you're done and it will just tell you what to do. So I promise you two things. One, it's easier than you think. It really, really is. It's not the gargantuan, huge pain in the ass thing that you think it is. And number two, once you have that done, the conversation gets amazing and exciting and new. And oh my gosh, I was talking with the guy yesterday who's like, why are you not in front of Glenn Sanford talking about da, 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 da. And I hadn't thought about that. And I was like, I never thought about it. I never did. And I was like, you know, and then another person's like, you're not charging enough for this. You need to da, 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 da. So I immediately called up another guy and was like, hey, we need to restructure this and this and this and this. But it was a lot of that kind of stuff of high level conversations and high level energy and cool business ideas and things, and got my brain going. And, you know, and it gets, I mean, if that's the kind of stuff you like, or putting together deals and figuring it out, or like Anna's thing of, okay, hang on, we got to get the appraiser, we got to get these, we got to get that, we got to get Curbio, we got to commit straight at cash level and put the whole entire package together. That's much more fun than I haven't uploaded my phone to that box thing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And Craig, one thing that Jasmine Whitson gave me, that works with me, is I got 2 timers. One timer I set for 50 minutes and the other I set for 10. So I'll do work for 50 minutes and when it goes off, I stop. And then I take a 10-minute break because my attention span is shit. So that helps me to focus and know, like, if somebody called during that time, or if I need to go, you know, if I need to do whatever, that I know that I have that time afterwards to do it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got to try
So
something. I'm gonna try something.
yes. All right. Plan of action. Cool beans. Again, as always, thank you. Like, huge thank you, because you let us make it a Craig show on occasion.
Yeah. I don't know how good that is, you know.
It's
All right.
a great show, Craig.
It
Craig
is
Gary.
a great show.
It
Craig
is.
Gary.
Craig Gary. I know. Craig Gary. It reminds me of Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, and now it's Craig Gary, Craig Leverett. So no coffee for closers. No, coffee's for closers. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
And I didn't get coffee this morning. I got a smoothie.
I have
Goodness,
a
coffee.
smoothie and I'm down 2 cups and I'm going to go get my third before my next Zoom, which happens here in just a little bit. Hey, y'all, I so appreciate you guys. Oh, tomorrow we're going to do kind of role playing and walking through. I'll show you what I do for my conversations. I'll have you guys hone and work on your little bit. What I want you guys to think on tonight is your, I don't know what to call it, sort of elevator speech. But for me, what I do is I'm like, okay, so I started real estate in 2007 in Washington State, built up a team, then became a team leader, built up an office in Virginia to 130 agents in a year, and then went over and did a turnaround office in San Francisco, opened up my coaching company, COVID hit, came out to Florida, been working with Gary and building out his team, 36 states, over 100 agents, blah, blah, blah. And so that's my short little bio thingy about me. But think about what your short little bio thing is about you that either shows that you're like I'm experienced, is what I've done, and y'all have done stuff, or brings into something from your background that is relevant or has a, like I used to tell people when I was in real estate, look, I've lived in, at the time it was like 50 houses or something, who knows, it was some stupid amount. I'm like, I lived in over 50 houses in 8 states or something like that. And so I flipped, so I know how to flip a house. And people, so it says I know about flipping. I didn't say the flipping part, but it says I know about real estate and all that without saying, you know, I know everything about real estate, because at the time I didn't. I just had lived in a lot of houses. I can tell the bones of a house. So either talks about something from your background, talks about what you've done in real estate, or how long you've been a real estate agent, or if you don't have any of that stuff, the team and what the team is and what the team has done. If you don't have your own numbers and stats, think about the team. So kind of get that together in your head. And then we're going to talk about what I do on recruiting appointments and how I flip them up to Gary or me or Andre or whoever, and kind of what that process looks like. And the timing couldn't be better done because Gary was like, hey, can we do an hour Zoom and kind of talk about how we do this? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it tomorrow. Sure. So, all right. So you guys think about that. And we're going to dig into that tomorrow. And that will be what we're working on. And I hope that you guys have amazing days. Craig is not there.
No, I had to step out for a second.
Okay.
My camera's still on though.
I'm talking to a car seat. All right. You guys have amazing days. Love you all. See you tomorrow. And Dutch, I didn't hit on you with your database. I got to jump on another phone call in a couple minutes, but I don't know where it is, but I do want to hear about where your database is. And he's still on the phone. And we will work with everybody with getting Indeed or whatever it is set up, or at least your patterns feel on how that works. So bye, y'all.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Have a
you
good day,
too.
Love ya.
everyone.
More.